everyone, it's Maddie. Today we're going to be discussing I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This book was so great. Oh my goodness. I loved it. It's a contemporary novel about twins Noah and Jude. Noah's a boy, Jude is a girl. It's told in then and now style. The then chapters are from the point of view of Noah when he's 13 to 14, and the now chapters are told from the point of view of Jude, who's 16. Then chapters take place before a tragedy. The now chapters take place after said tragedy. It's wonderful and heartfelt and heart-wrenching. The writing is glorious. It's beautiful. I had a couple issues differentiating between metaphor and reality, but I liked it. The excess of metaphors almost seemed like a coping mechanism. It almost seemed like anxiety in comparison to just over-the-top metaphors. I really liked that. I just really overall enjoyed this book. I thought the characters were phenomenal. They had a whole lot of depth. They were really well developed and really real, honestly. One of my favorite things right now are contemporaries. I'm on a little contemporary kick because it's summer. I've noticed that a lot of the contemporary books do a really good job of developing real characters. The characters are quirky, different, they have tics that are interesting, they develop into something substantial, and I really enjoyed that. One of my favorite aspects of this book was that both siblings are art students. I absolutely love art so much. It's a huge portion of my life. I'm a bit of an artist myself. I do a lot of art for fun. It's therapeutic. Reading about all of their sketches and their sculptures, the way that art's affected their lives touched me. Another way art plays into this is that the two perspectives have differentiating qualities. Noah, whenever there's an emotional situation, he captions it with a way that he would draw it in a portrait. Then Jude has this weird Bible of sorts. It's just a compilation of superstitions that she also captions different situations throughout her chapters with. Both of these quirks helped differentiate their styles and who they are, and I really loved it. It just felt so nice and just real and One of my favorite things in this book was the descriptions of the art that he was thinking of. He would describe them as he was drawing them. I could see them in my head and I wanted to have them. The sibling and family dynamic in this was just so well developed. They have points where they get along swimmingly, but other points where they just like butt heads or where they can barely talk to each other, and that's a real family, honestly. My only issue with this book was that the ending was very rushed. Everything kind of wrapped itself up in a neat and tidy little bow, and I feel like that happens a lot in contemporary. Things wrap themselves up really quickly and then the book is over and you're like,
but there was more. But more. Give me more.
There's an LGBTQ relationship. It makes me so happy. I just love seeing those things in books. I absolutely adored the gay relationship in it, and I thought it was precious, and I thought the book was precious, and it was my favorite relationship in the book. It was just one of those things that I want to read again, even though I just finished it a few days ago. I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars or a 93%. If you haven't read this book, I suggest that you do. If you haven't read this book, I'm about to go into the spoilery section. I would suggest that you go, you read it, and then you come back and we can discuss it. I'm usually really bad at guessing plot points. I knew that their mom was having an affair as soon as Noah went to go see Guillermo the first time because he saw his mom's car, and I was like, no. I get that the mom found someone she really loved and clicked with. Jude called them split aparts, which I think is really cute and romantic, but still, you have a husband and you have children, and it frustrated me because the mom seemed like a really great character. At first, she seemed like a free spirit, and yes, she seemed unhappy around their father. Really did like Guillermo, despite the fact that she cheated on her husband with Guillermo. He was sort of like a father figure to them, even though he shouldn't have been, because I didn't want him to be. I liked him. I liked how he helped Jude come out of her shell again. She definitely had some hardcore, like, hypochondriac anxiety because of her mother's death. That's exactly why she turned to the Bible, and she turned to hiding herself in these clothes because she was afraid that the whole reason her mom died was because she was out with a boy the night before, and her mom told her that she shouldn't be that girl. That made me really sad for her. Her mother's death wasn't anyone's fault. All of them felt like it was their fault. Noah felt like it was his fault. Jude felt like it was her fault. Jude thought it was because she was with a boy. Noah thought it was because he yelled at her and she caught him with a boy. God, I felt absolutely terrible for Jude because Zephyr was about 3 years older than her. He took advantage of her, took away her most prized possession when she was younger. I was so happy when she saw him again and she just spit on him. I was like, there she is. The invisible girl's gone. We have Jude back. I really liked younger Jude when she wasn't being terribly mean to Noah. It was so interesting to see how their roles completely flipped when they got older. I loved his relationship with Brian so much. It was adorable. I loved seeing the arc of their relationship through that summer. It was this adorable summer romance, and you could see them getting closer to each other. They have this wonderful, like, tryst in the woods, then something goes awry and he outs Brian. So cringy. If there's one thing you shouldn't do it's come out for someone else. They reconciled just really, really quickly. That's one of the things in the ending that was like really rushed and like, let's put a bow on it. Woohoo! In the ending, when they all find out that the mom cheated, it all happens in the span of like 30 pages. It wraps up so quickly. This wouldn't wrap up this quickly. Jude cries, and then she's like,
Well, if she found true love, but that's wrong. Cheating is wrong, but maybe it was right.
I liked her revelation, but I didn't think she would have come to terms with it within a matter of an hour. Noah had all that time to come to terms with it, so it wasn't like his reaction was too crazy. Then the dad, when he found out, he was like, I liked that they had a happily ever after in the sense that like things were slowly getting back to normal, but it seemed just too quick. I really liked Oscar. He was an interesting love interest. He was definitely the bad boy love interest. What I found really interesting though, when they said that he smiled, his face came apart. His and Jude's relationship was very intense, very fast. They didn't know each other very long, or maybe I'm just not gauging properly the amount of time she spent working with Guillermo. I guess that works for the two of them because they're both very intense people. I didn't feel as much of a connection between them as I felt between Brian and Noah, and that's why I liked Brian and Noah's relationship a lot more than I liked Oscar and Jude's relationship. That isn't to say that I didn't like their relationship. I did. I enjoyed it. I loved how all of their stories eventually weave together. Noah and Oscar first met when he was spying on the CSA life drawing class. Jude meets Oscar when she's studying with Guillermo, and then Noah met Guillermo before Jude met Guillermo, and then their mom met Guillermo before they all met him. Then Oscar almost takes a drink after being sober, and then Jude inadvertently stops him by running to save Noah, and then Oscar saves Noah. I just love how everything slowly weaves itself together through the years. I just adored the art in this book. The part where they described all of Guillermo's sculptures, the paintings on the walls, and how he could not stop drawing their mom. She was his lost love. I could just see all of the art so vividly in my head. I really liked when Noah saw the two guys kissing in the hallway and almost had like a spiritual experience where he was like, oh my god, I can do that. I could kiss a boy someday and maybe it'd be okay. I also enjoyed how Jude saw ghosts. I'm assuming that it was just her way of coping with the deaths of these beloved family members. I love how her grandma was always there just jabbing in little things about Oscar, and I loved when she was talking to her grandma and Oscar was literally there the whole time watching and hearing this whole conversation she was having with herself. How she thought her mom was breaking the bowls because she was mad at her, but in reality her mom was breaking the bowls to bring her to Guillermo so she could work in stone and meet him and have him as her tutor. I really love this book. Jandy Nelson wrote a fabulous book in I'll Give You the Sun. I recommend it to like everyone. Probably one of the best contemporaries I've read. Fantastic. That was my review of I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you read this book, tell me what you thought about it down below in the comments and we can discuss it. I'm Maddie. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.